Welcome to the 28th Angle podcast, where your host, Shelley,
Victoria,
and Heather
are here to hang out, have some fun, and share our different perspectives on a variety of topics. So let's get into it. Hey guys.
Hi.
Happy hump day.
Happy Wednesday. Welcome back, everybody.
So when this episode airs, it's going to be the twins' birthday. So happy birthday.
Yay. Thank you. I guess I can say happy birthday to myself now, right? Because so it's not my birthday yet, but when it comes out, it will be. So
Right. So how was everybody's week/weekend, or what are you up to?
A lot of nothing. I am taking my niece to get her hair cut for her birthday. It's her birthday
on Tuesday.
Was this coming Tuesday. So so that's what I'm doing. Other than that, I'm doing nothing. I hope to relax after that. So that's the plan. We'll see.
It'll be her 21st birthday.
Her 21st birthday.
By the time this airs, it will have passed, But
yeah.
She's my oldest, so she turns 21. Seems crazy.
That's so crazy.
Yep,
it is. Other than that, I think I have an appointment for myself in the morning, and then I have my middle daughter is getting braces on Saturday.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
Are they nervous?
I don't think so.
I would be.
Right.
I think she wants them on so they can be done with them.
Done.
They have to have them for a year and a half. So
that's a long time.
Braces are so different than they were back in the day. So
they're still excited to have blue in their mouth, though. So
yeah, that makes sense.
That's crazy.
But they also got to not eat certain things now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So my week was uneventful. We didn't do too much. So yeah, there it goes.
Fun.
So exciting, Shelley. All right, so we'll get into the episode. Today's episode is going to be for Shelley, where it's all about Shelley, apparently.
All about me.
It may be our birthday, but it's all about Shelley today.
Yeah, how'd this happen?
Yeah, how'd that work out?
How did this fall on our birthday?
We should have did the twin episode on your birthday.
We really should have.
Now to think of it.
Apparently we have terrible timing. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyways, today's episode will me and Victoria came up with a bunch of like Canadian questions to, I think between hers and mine, they're way different questions, so it should work out. So I'm going to ask a few questions to Shelley for her to answer, and then Victoria will, we're going to do it the other way around. Let Victoria ask her questions first, and then I'll ask a couple questions, and then if we have enough time at the end, I have a few like slang words and quotes and stuff, or terms that Canadians use, so she can tell us what they mean.
Hopefully.
And I will add, it's not about Shelley really, but because she's from Canada, we just thought it would be fun to do like a all about Canada type thing and see how much she can answer, how much she can't, because she's been living here for a long time now. So
yeah, it was really a joke. We were supposed to have somebody else from Canada here, but they couldn't make it. So
who actually still lives in Canada.
Question. Yeah.
So she gets double the questions.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Ready.
Are you ready, Shelley?
I am.
Okay. So, what's the biggest stereotype Canadians have about Americans?
They're rude.
so Americans Canadians are nice and Canadian thinks Americans are rude. That's funny.
Yeah.
Is there a fast food chain that's way better in Canada than in the US?
A&W, I think.
You've never been to one here.
No, I haven't. And you tell me there is one, but I haven't seen one yet.
They're not around. There's not very many of them around anymore. But
no, there's not.
I'm sorry. 1 second. I'm laughing because we're like on a video type thing, and I see behind Heather like people crawling crawling on the floor behind her. So,
I didn't notice them.
I just seen somebody crawl. I'm sorry, that caught me off guard.
It's funny.
Yeah, so I would say A&W, but also you guys don't have Boston Pizza. It's not a fast food place per se. It's more of like a sit down restaurant. But they have like the best cactus cut potato chips or whatever. They're so good. So
what does that
good.
even mean?
Cactus cut?
They're just they're like
Are they
chips.
cut
No,
with a
they're
cactus?
not cactus. No. They call it cactus cut. I think they call it cactus cut because the dip that they use is like really spicy. And I'm not much for spicy, but I like that dip. It's like really good. So anyways.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I think I know the answer to this one, but what's one Canadian snack or food that Americans are seriously missing out on?
Ketchup chips. Okay.
Yeah, I knew that.
It's not hard. Like Lay's potato chips, they have all kinds of crazy flavors here, like chicken and waffles, like I don't even know. There's just some really crazy combinations. But when I say ketchup chips, like I have mentioned it to you guys before, you're like, ew, gross, like, oh, ketchup on chip, But it's actually Victoria knows because she's had it numerous times. It's really good. It's so good.
I love ketchup chips. And I always make Shelley's mom make. I don't not make, but you know what I mean? I always ask Shelley's mom to send me like the ketchup seasoning that goes on popcorn.
Yep,
So, and my kids are obsessed with making our own chips and putting that ketchup seasoning on them.
I still have some in the cupboard, actually.
Mine's gone. You can give me yours if you want.
So if any of my family or friends in Canada that listen to this, you can DM me and I'll give you my address and you could send me a care package.
Me too. Just don't forget coffee crisp. Okay, thanks. Yep. All right, so last one for me, and then we'll switch over to Heather and let her ask some. What's something about Canadian winters that Americans just don't understand?
The bitter cold. Like, I know it gets cold up in like the northern states, but until you're in Canada, like Alaska, I'm sure is like way colder. But where I lived in Saskatchewan, we were in the middle of the country, and there's wide open spaces. There's no hills; it's flat land. They call it the land of the living skies because it's just there's no hills, nothing.
Land of the living sky?
Yeah, that's what they call it. That's what it says on the license
Interesting
plate.
Oh, does it?
And
That's funny.
And I just remember it being so cold in the winter that when you're outside, your like nostrils would like freeze together almost because it was just so cold, and you'd have crystals in your nose and
terrible.
Your eyelashes really would be like have little icicles on your eyelashes. Yeah,
who wants to live in that?
But like being a kid in the wintertime, I just don't remember it being that cold in the winter when I was a kid. There was like a lot of fun winter. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Because when I came here, like, a little bit of cold now, it's like, a little chilly because I've been here so long. I'm acclimated to Florida weather. I told Tony, like, because we're going to spend a Christmas at home in Canada. And I'm like, we are going to freeze.
Like,
are going to freeze. Like, it's so cold. So.
I can imagine.
It's kind of funny that some of my questions kind of like coincide with your questions.
Mm-hmm.
I know that
it's a twin thing.
Yeah, it's always a twin thing,
So, because my second question, actually, I'll just ask it first since we're already talking about winter. My second question is, how many layers are really required to survive in a Canadian winter?
Let's see. As a kid, okay, so for instance, Halloween, okay, they would have to make costumes big enough to fit over your winter clothing.
I know, just us here in Florida don't think about stuff like that.
Right. So you're sweating here in Florida on Halloween. Like you have to wear, your sweater and then put a big parka on. with a big furry hat, and then your ski pants. Okay, you got your ski pants
Sounds
and
like
your
way too much
boots and like your mitts.
How do you even move after that?
And your toque, like you're bundled up, and then you can put the princess costume over that, and then you can go trick or treating.
You put the princess costume on over that. Pretty buff princess
Really-
there. A really cold princess.
I just remember back in the day it being so cold some Halloweens. It's like, oh my god. And then as you got older and you go out like to bars and stuff for Halloween, you had to like kind of choose what you wanted to wear because you'd be freezing your ass off if you're trying to be like a sexy nurse or
Right.
There's no sexy nurses in Canada.
You'd be like wearing your ski pants under your like your sexy nurse skirt, and then you'd have to take it off before you go.
No, thank you.
Your winter clothes would be more than your actual Halloween costume, like clothing, like covering wise.
The coat check at the bars are like always full of everybody's like winter coats and stuff. You had to pay for coat check, right? Because they wouldn't let you go into bars with like big parkas and stuff like that.
That's weird. Why?
I don't know.
I guess it makes sense.
Hiding stuff.
Weird.
That's crazy. So, the next question, what's something most people outside of Canada misunderstood about the country? Or misunderstand about the country, sorry.
They think it's winter all the time. Like, I know I'm joking about the winter,
I do think
but
it's winter all the time.
It's always cold there, isn't it?
It's in this summer, it actually gets quite warm. You know, like right now, I just talked to my mom today.
Like 70?
Well, actually, I don't know what 30 degrees Celsius is in Fahrenheit right now, but she said it was about 30 degrees Celsius the other day, which is quite warm. I think that might be about 80, maybe 90. I don't know. But it does get quite warm and dry, and there are a lot of mosquitoes. Lots of mosquitoes.
That sucks. I hate mosquitoes.
But other than that, like fall is my favorite season because of the leaves changing color, and you know you got the fire pits in the evening time, and it's all nice outside, and sometimes the winter is really nice and pretty, but it's not always winter.
That's what I miss about Virginia.
And we don't ride polar bears to school. I don't think I've ever seen a polar bear where I live. There are polar bears in Canada, farther up north.
No, you guys don't ride polar bears to school. You ride moose to school.
Moose.
Yeah, you're jumping the gun on that, Shelley.
That was actually one of my questions, and you're skipping to it.
I'm sorry.
But it was actually going to be a joke because obviously, duh, you guys don't. But it's funny because here in Florida, we've always been joked about that Floridians ride alligators to school. So
yeah, there's polar bears, and we don't live in igloos. That's like way up north.
That's Alaska.
No, that's Yukon. What's the?
I'm just saying,
God.
when I think of somebody living in an igloo, I think of Alaska. That may not be true at all. Obviously, that's what comes to mind.
I'll ask one more question, then we can go back to yours. How has living in Canada shaped your values, or worldview? I know you don't live there now, but you live there long enough.
I don't know.
So you don't think it changed anything?
I hate to say this, but healthcare stuff kind of sucks here.
We all know that. I mean,
Canada,
obviously, I don't know from experience, but
in Canada, healthcare is somewhat free. But obviously, if you had to go for an MRI, like you go to your doctor and he's like, "I'm going to book you for an MRI," you don't have to pay for it.
But it's like 6 months out.
That's the thing.
Or more.
Yeah, you gotta wait.
It's like military insurance here. Like,
yeah. But I don't know. Really.
I should correct myself. It's like military insurance for spouses, not active duty, but
yeah, so
I mean, we
That's
pay
fun.
for medical insurance, and sometimes it's that bad here.
It's
so,
still,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I need a mammogram, and it's a few months out.
Yeah, mine was too. That's crazy, actually.
Well, I can believe how much. I don't know. Should we talk about this for a second? Insurance? I mean, I don't know. Like, do you think so? I'm not sure, but we were gonna get insurance, and for Tony just by himself was like $80 through his job, and then we were gonna add me. It went up to $900 a
Yeah,
paycheck.
which is insane, though.
Yeah, I think that's
$900 a
crazy.
paycheck. Who
I
can
can
afford
add-
that?
I can add, I mean, not that I do, but like if I were to get insurance through my work, I could add me and all my kids for less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, I don't know
So-
what it is, but
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
Wayne has
It would be
him,
close to
me,
that, but
and 2 kids for, well, it's like $110 a paycheck. He gets paid every week though, so that
that's
changes
still-
a little bit, but still.
$400.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing is
The
like,
whole month is less than 1 paycheck of that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right,
exactly.
It's crazy.
So, I mean, luckily, I have found a doctor here. Well, actually, Victoria found the doctor that I go to, but I found a doctor here where like it's not as expensive to go.
Out of pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, out of pocket. So I don't need insurance for that aspect. We did get dental, so but yeah, we're still looking into options. We're still learning because he's never had to worry about it because he has military,
Yeah.
veterans.
Yep.
So
It's a process here, but
yeah, but
there's some decent options out
Yeah.
there, but they're not all that insane, but that is crazy. So
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
So other than that, like, yeah, I don't
It
know.
takes a lot of research and figuring out things around here
Yeah,
for medical
sure.
stuff.
For sure.
Anyways,
okay,
do you wanna-
back to the more fun side of things
Yes.
here. Yeah. Too serious there for a second.
Yeah.
So poutine or American cheese fries, and you can't say poutine out of loyalty.
Poutine because I don't really like cheese fries.
It's weird.
Wait, I don't know. Like, maybe I haven't really had proper cheese fries here. The poutine all the way, though. Have you ever had poutine? Like actual?
Only
I
the
haven't.
ones from Disney Springs. Do they count?
I never had them.
Well,
So you guys need to. We're gonna go take a trip to Canada one of these years, and
well, it sounds like we need to take a trip to a restaurant that sells American cheese fries.
yeah. I guess we should do that.
We need to
first.
start with there, yeah. That'll be easier.
Let's just all go to Disney Springs because I'm pretty sure we can get poutine and cheese fries there somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Probably. All right, let's do it.
Okay. Are Canadians actually offended when Americans call maple syrup just another pancake topping?
I mean, I'm not, because you know what? I don't actually like maple syrup.
Wow, they're gonna disown you now.
I only have I don't know, like I've never had real maple syrup on my pancakes before. I'm not much of like, I put syrup on my pancakes, but that's, I don't know. I don't put a lot.
But this-
I mean, like,
But that is more like, so our friend that was supposed to join us, his name is Moose. So if you hear me say Moose, I'm talking about our friend. But that goes more like to where he lives, right? Like,
yeah, they're more
they're bigger on that
yeah,
there.
Yeah, I
That's what I
believe
thought.
so. Well, he drinks it right out of the bottle.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
Do Canadians get defensive when Americans claim that they have better scenery and landscapes?
I mean, they probably haven't been to all of Canada then. 'Cause if you have not seen the Canadian Rockies, you're
But I
missing
also
out.
assume that if there's a Canadian that gets defensive about that, they may not have seen all of
North America, yeah, that's
America's.
true.
Yeah.
I think both countries are equally as beautiful. Canada
Yeah, I mean,
does have
I've
more
never been
of,
to Canada, but I know I've seen pictures and stuff. I'm
like-
sure they're both.
Canada has like amazing mountain ranges in the Canadian Rockies. It's absolutely gorgeous. But even like where I grew up, like I say it was like flat because it was. It's like all farming and whatnot. But like the sunsets and like, all that stuff, absolutely gorgeous. So
That's cool. I've never really heard that one way or another, so I just seen that and thought it was funny. Okay, my next group of questions, I won't ask them all at once, but my next group of questions are comparing Florida to Canada.
Okay.
So, does that make you nervous, Shelley?
A little bit.
They shouldn't be too bad. So you've traded snowy winters for eternal sunshine. Do you miss the cold, or is living in Florida the dream?
So I don't miss the cold, but I do miss the season changes.
Yeah.
I miss the one thing I do miss is like when I don't know if you guys probably no, you probably maybe you have, Victoria, because you've lived in snow. But like when it's like lightly snowing and you go outside like at nighttime and the snow is falling, but it's so quiet outside. I miss that. Like, because where my parents used to live, they lived in like the outskirts of town. So like you could see there was no like sound pollution or light pollution. You just see like the skies were just amazing. And
Well,
yeah.
I feel like that's what, like, anybody that's ever lived in a place that has seasons and then they're living down in Florida, that's got to be like the one big thing.
Yeah,
Because that's what I always say. Like, I don't miss living up north at all, but like the season changes or seeing the orange leaves and the yellow leaves and the all the colors of the trees as you're driving down the road, like that's the one thing I miss. And the chilly weather at night, like when it's not cold but it's not hot, like the fall weather.
That one house you lived at in Virginia, where in the front yard, that tree, remember we had like our graveyard or whatever?
Yeah.
Those leaves were gorgeous. Like they went like red and yellow and orange. Like I've never seen that many colors.
Yeah.
FYI, when they say graveyard, she means her Halloween decorations. She just doesn't have a random graveyard in her front yard.
No, I don't keep graveyards in my front yard just during Halloween.
And just people are going to hear that and be like, what?
By the graveyard? That house you had with the graveyard.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Right. Forgot. We're not that close yet, guys. Okay. Now that you've experienced a few, which one sucks more? Hurricanes in Florida or blizzards in Canada?
Oh. Well, I'm going to have to say blizzards are not as bad as hurricanes. Because, in my opinion, hurricanes to me have done more damage to our property. Not that we had a lot of damage, we just had trees down and stuff like that. But in a blizzard, we got snowed in, is all that happened. You just couldn't go out and drive because you wouldn't be able to see the road or anything, and it was cold. But if you're like, okay, we're getting a storm, you got to stay home, we'd all hunker down and watch movies and whatever. Whereas in a hurricane, you can lose power.
Can you still lose power in a blizzard? Or
I mean, you could. I mean, we never did, thank God, but I don't remember ever losing power during a blizzard.
But people do all the time. Like, didn't New York have like a really bad blizzard and lost power?
If they have like ice storm, then like the icy storm blizzards.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense.
But blizzards that I've experienced, we never had like really a thick ice storm like that. But I feel like hurricanes are way worse. Like they are really scary. Tony and I just experienced our first hurricane last year. I mean, we've been in a hurricane before, but actually like had damage to it.
Real one that came to you. Yeah.
Yeah, it came to us and we had no power for 5 days? 7 days? Something like that. But we actually hunkered down in our closet. Like it was freaky scary. And then we're like, we can't do this no power thing anymore. And we ended up going over to Victoria's.
Yeah.
Because they have power. But it was
we lost power for like 30 minutes and that was it.
So we ended up after throwing everything out in our fridge and freezer. So
we did that year too. We lost power for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Or a little longer than 24 hours. So we had to throw all our food away too.
Ugh. Yeah.
So I definitely
say
say
the crappy parts. All right, last question for me on this side, and then we'll switch back. Is Canada's wildlife more terrifying or is Florida's?
Okay.
And it has
So-
like bear, moose for Canada and gators, snakes, everything that wants to kill you.
Right.
Not that bears
So,
and moose don't.
I would say living in Canada and where my parents would live, or where my parents lived, like I said, they lived out sort of on the outskirts of the town. You can hear the coyotes howling as you're like walking to the house, and you can't see anything like this. I'm talking at nighttime. So there could be one that jumps on you, but I would say
You ever had one jump on you?
no. But I want to tell a story.
She sounded by experience.
I want to tell a story real quick because my mom's gonna kill me if she listens to the podcast, but I have to tell her this story. So this one time, Mom and I, we went out for the evening, and we came home, and it was like a snowy winter night, and it was really beautiful outside. And I told her, like, let's go to the backyard and look at the sky. And she's like, okay. So we walked out back there, and I heard something like kind of in the snow. You know how it like makes noise or whatever. And I'm like, what's that? And she's like, she freaking pushes me and runs to the house. And so I ran behind her, and I was like, Mom, what are you doing? She's gonna kill me for that one, but yeah.
That's so funny, actually. I think I've heard that before.
Yeah, I think it was just a deer, but she pushed her baby daughter. I don't know what
baby girl. That's so funny.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was really funny. Nothing was there. I think it was just a deer or something. But it was just really funny because we were both kind of on edge, anyways. So
that is funny.
But yeah, sorry. Back to the question. I would say Florida is more scary because yes, you have all kinds of critters out here. I've seen in our yard. I see one of those black. I think we talked about this already, like the black snakes or whatever.
Snakes, yeah.
They don't bite or whatever.
They're harmless.
But
they're good for your house.
I would definitely be scared of, like I said, walking by the lake. Well, did you guys hear about that one lady that was on the canoe and she ended up getting attacked by a gator on the canoe in Lakeland?
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
She died.
I didn't hear. Wow, yeah. Shelley. I didn't even get to finish saying I didn't hear about it. She said.
Yeah, she got attacked by a gator.
She's dead. She got eaten by an alligator.
Husband.
I didn't read much into it, but
she got eaten by an alligator, and then her husband found her later. She was floating in the water.
Yes, but she was in a lake that was very popular, popular for being filled with alligators. So why did she go kayaking in it?
And it's mating season. And we know
so
what
why did she go
season.
kayaking in it?
She's probably not a Floridian.
She had to have been from out of state. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, rest in peace. But
yeah, I mean, I agree. Rest in peace,
by the way.
But, yes, very sad. But why was she there? Got
it. Anyways, do a few of my questions. Some of them I feel like you've already answered, so I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to... What's a uniquely Canadian slang word or phrase that you love?
You guys ever hear of U-Ball?
No.
Nope.
It's U-turn. I'm going to do U-Ball here.
Sounds like a drug. If you said that to me, I would think you were going to do drugs.
I mean, I've said that before, like U-Ball, or I don't know. I don't know. Like, what if you guys heard me say and you're like, what is that? Or like, that's not even a thing. I don't even know.
We'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah. That's
which Canadian holiday or tradition should the rest of the world adapt to? Or adopt, I should say.
I mean, you guys pretty much have the same. Like, Canada Day is July 1st. Thanksgiving's in October. Boxing Day, I think you guys should adapt because, I mean, but you guys have that it's like Black Friday, but it's like Boxing Day is December 26th. The Brits actually celebrate it as well. It's a paid holiday for your work.
It's paid holiday. They wouldn't be here.
Right.
Victoria Day is actually Monday. This coming up Monday, the 21st.
We should definitely celebrate that.
It's the Queen's birthday. They have, but you guys have Memorial Day the following Monday, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Pretty much. Do you have Labor Day? No, you do have Labor Day. You don't have civic holidays in August. So you guys, we don't have any holidays here in August, right?
Not that come to mind.
So in Canada, they have civic holiday, which is like, I believe it's like the first week in August. They get a day off. So I think everybody should have a day off in August.
Just make random holidays so we can have
Yeah.
days off.
Get days off,
Fine.
yeah.
I'm okay with it. I think all my other questions you pretty much answered, so I can just skip to some of the slang. And I did try to look it up for where you lived. That way you would for sure know, or at least should know.
I have 4 left. If you want me to do mine first, then we go do the slang.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So, still in the Florida level here, questions. So Canada has poutine and Florida has public subs. Which one's better?
Poutine.
You don't like public subs though, do you?
I'm not a fan of public subs.
She just hasn't had the right one, guys. I don't know what her problem
I don't know
is.
what the hype is. I've had ham and cheese. I've had the chicken
Ham and
tenders
cheese.
one. Yeah. I don't know.
Disappointment. Do Floridians have stronger opinions on Disney than Canadians have on hockey?
Oh. I don't know. I think Canadians have stronger opinions on hockey. It's a pretty intense sport for Canadians.
Have you ever met those Disney adults? Because
Maybe not. 'Cause
I'm
you
just
guys,
kidding.
I mean, I don't really know too many like crazy
Disney adults, yeah.
adults. Like you guys are not there. Like
Nope.
you're not that crazy about it.
It's
so.
been in my neighborhood most of my life, so that's hard to I
Yeah.
don't know, obsess over it. I mean, I know there are plenty of people that have always lived here, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me. I love Disney, don't get me wrong, but it's also very expensive. So
Oh, it is. Oh my god, it's so expensive.
so it's like almost okay. Would you rather drive in Florida's chaos or Canada's snow-covered streets?
Well, I would say depending on where I am in Canada, if I'm like where I grew up, like as an adult, I would say probably there because they salt the roads so it's easily handled. But I'm just like I said in previous episodes, I'm just driving again and I'm getting used to the traffic here, even though I haven't driven on the freeway yet. Still a little crazy in our little town here during certain times of the day. So I don't know. I think I'm going to stick to the snowy roads for right now.
I hate driving in the snow, but I know you did it for a long
Sounds
time.
You have
So
to have you have to have good tires. You
yeah.
have to
Oh yeah.
get like I bought specifically my Ford Escape I had with 4-wheel drive or 4x4, sorry, or I had truck with 4x. I don't know. Anyway, you just push the button and then you just glide through the snow like no problem.
Like a cartoon.
Yep.
Your snow tires shoot out.
Your snow tires,
just glide.
You're just
Okay.
normally, yeah.
All right. Last question. Well, now I have one for the very, very end, but we'll save that for the very end. And I know what you're going to say about this, but you still know about it, so you still have to answer it. Canadians have bagged milk, and Floridians have drive-through liquor stores. Who wins the weird convenience battle?
The drive-through liquor stores. Because you can only get liquor at specific stores. Each province in Canada is different. So like where I lived, we had an LB, that's what they called it. They're only open Monday to Friday, I think. I don't believe they were open on weekends. They were open on Saturdays. They were not open on Sundays. And you could not buy hard liquor at a bar, like off sale is what they call it. So like you can go drive up to the bar, open it. They have like an off sale vendor, and you can go buy like a case of beer, but you can't buy like a Mickey of whiskey, which is like the smaller bottles of whiskey.
So they don't have drive-through liquor stores?
No, not where I live. They didn't. I don't think any other place they didn't. And you can't buy liquor or wine or anything in like any. Maybe you can now, but like when I lived there, you
Right.
couldn't buy liquor or wine in any kind of a store other than a liquor store.
Hmm.
Or and you can buy beer as well. You could not buy beer.
There's
I
some
don't think-
counties here that are weird like that though too. Not
don't
that strict though.
So Canadian friends and family, please comment on this. Can you buy alcohol in like grocery stores and Walmart out there? I can't remember if you could buy beer or not. I don't think you can. I think you have to actually go to like a bar and go to off sale or a liquor store to buy beer.
Even just for beer? That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty sure. Well, where I lived anyways. So,
All right, you ready for some slang, Shelley? Or some
oh boy. I don't know, it's been a while, but let's lay it on me.
The first one I have is bunny hug.
You know, it's funny. I thought you were going to ask me that too. Okay, so bunny hug is a hoodie.
Why?
Because you got the little things at the bottom. You put your hands in there. I don't know.
Pockets? Little things at the bottom. Pockets? Those
So
things?
Saskatchewan is the only place in Canada that calls it a bunny hug.
Yeah, it was from
I
From
don't know
there, that's
why,
why.
but that's what I know it as is a bunny hug.
what about
Interesting.
rye?
Rye is whiskey. So I get like rye and Coke at a bar or something like that.
Grid road.
Grid road's a gravel road. So we'd always go on grid roads. Actually, where my parents lived, they lived off a grid road. So it's like gravel road.
She says it like it's so normal.
I know.
A grid road.
Like, you guys don't know what a grid road is? That's so funny.
I'm going for a rip.
I'm going for a rip is like I'm going for a drive somewhere. I said that before, I'm sure. Let's go rip around or something.
Maybe in your
Maybe I-
head.
Maybe I said that to Tony and he
I was going to say.
Tony
Say
just
Danny
ignores it.
Right. Tony's just used to hearing weird things like that. He's like, that's just Shelley being Shelley again.
So wheat kings.
Wheat Kings?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Is there a sentence?
Use it in a sentence, please.
Well, the right beside it, I assume it's a sports thing. That's why I almost didn't say it. But it says more than just a tragically hip song also refers to Brandon's WHL team in Prairie Heritage.
Hockey.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
WHL is Western Hockey League, and Tragically Hip is actually one of my favorite Canadian bands. The lead singer, Gordie Downey, is no longer with us, but that's like, if you ever say the hip, anybody knows who that is. That's Canadian.
Anybody knows who that is.
Yeah.
Duh. Yeah, of course we do.
Duh.
Yeah. Totally.
I don't even know if I know how to say this word, but Colee, Coulee,
C-O what?
Coulee, Colee.
Bully?
Coley?
I have no idea. What is that?
It says a valley or ravine, often with a
Ravine?
stream, common in prairie landscapes.
Oh, I honestly had never heard that before.
Oh, okay. Well, big garbage day.
Big Garbage Day?
Is that the day where
I'm-
everybody puts their trash out?
Maybe. I've never heard that before.
Big garbage day.
It says a real event where the city picks up large household junk. Often people usually cruise the curbs to collect unwanted treasures.
Actually, that's hilarious because Mom and I were just talking about that the other day. She's like, oh yeah, we have days here where everybody puts their stuff out on the curb and they come out and grab it. I'm like, yeah, we do that here, but people actually take it. But she said the city comes by and picks it up. I was like, oh, I'm like, okay, so
So I
That's
wonder if that's a
interesting.
newer thing, or you just were so young then you didn't realize that's what it was.
Well, and where my parents lived, they never had anything like that, because they were part of like they lived more in the country.
Oh, in the country, yeah.
This is specifically for where you were from. Is that where your
Saskatchewan.
mom still lives? Yes.
No, right? Does she?
Yeah.
Mm.
Huh?
Does she
Does
still
she
live there?
still live there?
No.
No, I don't say. I didn't think so.
Okay,
No.
it's just where you grew up. Gitch. I'm assuming Liam's saying that right.
Gitch?
Yeah.
That's underwear, like Gitchies.
Yeah.
Boys Gitchies. I can see your Gitch.
Yeah, but we don't call it that, so it's just weird.
It's like tidy
Obviously.
whities.
If you
Yeah.
said that to me, I would be like, what?
You got some Gitch? Yeah, that's so weird. You guys don't know that.
That's so weird that we I've literally never heard you say that, Shelley, when you act like you say it every day.
I wouldn't say it to you guys. That's more like in school and stuff,
That's funny.
It's a dry cold.
The weather. It is a very dry cold there. There's no like humidity.
But what does that? So the answer that I have next to this, like, is what it gave me. Obviously, I didn't like do research and see if it was correct or whatever. But it says, it's used seriously. It means -30 Celsius isn't that bad because the air isn't humid.
Yeah.
Locals swear it's better than wet cold
It
in
is.
Ontario.
It is better. Like I've had, -30 weather, Celsius. What sucks about it is like if it's windy, and when I worked at the nursing home wearing really thin scrub pants, the wind just cuts right through it.
Yeah, I bet.
They don't have special Canadian scrubs.
No, you didn't want to wear those thicker scrubs because you'd be sweating your butt off at work.
Step outside, turn into an ice
While
cube.
I was looking up these, I seen that there was a term for snowbirds, which is obviously the same thing that we call them. So I thought that was funny because it says Canadians who spend the winter in the U.S. in the warm U.S. states, especially Florida. But that's what we call people that go up north.
They call them snowbirds up there too.
Do they?
That's what according to my.
We're asking you, Shelley.
Yeah.
No, we call people that come to Florida snowbirds, like in Canada.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's what we call them too. I mean, not specifically Canada, but the people that live here half the time and then go up north.
Oh, okay.
They go up north for the summer. We call them snowbirds.
Oh, okay. I got you.
A loonie.
Is
which I've heard you say this. I've heard you say this before.
Yeah, it's a coin.
Chesterfield, I've heard you say before.
Chesterfield. I don't normally say it. I call it a couch, but it is a couch. Chesterfield is more like on a moose's side of the world, so in the East Coast.
Yeah, I've moved into like the classic Canadian slang. It's not like from Saskatchewan anymore.
Dude, you said it.
She's been avoiding saying
it. Pop, which we used to call it from our northern family.
Yes.
We used to call it growing up. So.
I've always said pop until I met Tony, and then it was soda. So now I only say soda. So when I hear people talk to say pop, I was like, no, it's soda.
We grew up calling it pop.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so did I. But like, I don't know, just.
And I've heard this one before, but KD for craft dinner. Yeah. Like
the
mac
best.
And cheese.
Not mac and cheese, it's KD.
I know it's KD, but we just call it mac and cheese here. I mean, imagine if I said to Eliana, okay, go ahead and make your KD. She'd be like, what? I think that's about it. I mean, there's probably a couple here, but there was one I found for hydro.
Yeah, hydro is like power.
Yeah, that's what I guess people up there call their electric bill.
Like, yeah, my mom says
paying
that.
The hydro bill.
Like, how much do you pay?
Example.
How much do you pay for hydro? And I'm like, oh, blah blah blah. Like, I know what she's talking about. So, well, electricity.
That's funny.
I think that's about it, though. I mean,
or there's like, what do they call? What the heck is it? Unemployment.
Oh, I have that on here.
Pogey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they call
that's
unemployment.
Weird.
Pogey.
Pogey is a slang for unemployment.
Yeah.
Unemployment benefits is what this says.
Interesting. Well, that's cool. All right, you ready for your one final question?
Oh, I'm very warm, but yes.
If you had to pick one forever, Canada or Florida, and why?
Oh my gosh, Victoria. So one for I don't. That's a really tough question because I would go to Canada because my family's there, but I don't like the cold. So I would like them to come over here, and then we,
Move your whole family to Florida, and
yes,
then you can
and
pick
then
Florida.
we'd be Florida because I really do like Florida because we don't have to worry about snow. It does get chilly here in January, February, and December, but like chilly,
Florida chilly, like
like
not real
like
chilly.
put on a sweater, maybe wear shoes and not sandals, maybe.
No.
But yeah, I know you said you don't.
Sandals forever. I'm never
Yeah.
putting shoes on unless I am going to a theme park.
But yeah, like Canada is beautiful and my family lives there, but if I can move them all here, it would be Florida. I just don't like the summers in Florida because they're really, 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 really hot.
Yeah. They
It was
are so hot.
95 today. 95.
We just need a pool. That's all.
Yeah.
Our little family compound. Yeah, but I think that's gonna wrap up this episode for today. So
wow. Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody like, oh yeah, because it's been a long time, but
Shelley's so wrong. It's not how it works in Canada anymore.
And we do say sorry a lot because I know you guys always say that I say sorry a lot.
Yeah, there was quite a few questions I came across where it asked
Sorry.
that.
All right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out and listening and maybe learning some new stuff about Canada.
Maybe.
Maybe. We will see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one. Bye. That's it for this episode of the 28th Angle Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed the conversation, be sure to follow and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Follow us on our socials at the 28th Angle Podcast for more updates and behind the scenes content.
Until next time, keep looking at life from every angle.
Especially the 28th.